his mama be happy. He's realizing that not everybody's bad. I mean, there is some good people out there that aren't white.
You don't think that other Nazis will watch this and go, what's he doing?
I don't give a shit.
How can he say he's friends with that shit skin?
I don't give a shit if they say that or not.
You can be friends with whoever you want to be with. There's not a problem with that.
I will never break bread with a Jew, though.
Had to go and say something, didn't you?
Oh, I don't want this to turn into something like, oh, well, this big badass Nazi is this little teddy bear.
But he is.
Yeah, but I would never break bread with a Jew, ever.
So maybe that should be part 2 of this film.
What, send a Jew over here?
Yeah.
No.
A couple of months after I left Ken, I got an email from Crystal. She said Ken had posted this picture of himself onto his student Facebook page. Ethnic minority students had seen it as a threat, and he'd been banned from the campus of the University of North Florida. Until now, I'd been filming with men from working-class backgrounds. But in recent years, a new kind of white nationalist has emerged. People who present a very different image. They're often known as the alt-right. Their leaders are from privileged elite backgrounds, such as Richard Spencer, born into a family of wealthy landowners.
We are fighting to be powerful again in a sea of weakness.
Spencer says he's not a racist, but opposes multiculturalism and wants to bring about a white ethno-state.
Hail Trump! Hail our people! Hail victory!
He's invited me to his apartment in the most expensive part of Alexandria, Virginia. He's hanging out with his followers.
I don't think I've ever done a video where I'm not wearing a collared shirt. Yeah. But in terms of formal wear, I like things that are striking, well, high quality, well made. No.
And then you saw me wear it.
Yeah. I was like, oh, it's dead.
Oh, the proles.
Get out.
The proles are doing it now.
Yeah. Get out quick. Get some wild turkey. Get an actual whiskey glass, you idiot. Oh. Okay, fine.
One small ideology, one very narrow one, too. Okay, put underneath the all-right.
As a natural leader, I have certain obligations and duties that other people don't.
Why are you someone who should lead?
I think that's obvious. But why do I need to even talk about it?
Say it. Tell me
Because
why.
I'm better. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something.
Go on.
All right. Elites rule the world. Elites make history. The question is who is in charge?
Oh my God, bro. Literally. The definition of elite in most literature means policymaker. So I guess, like, congratulations, Richard Spencer. I forgot how fucking stupid you were. It's been how long since I've had to listen to this fucking loser, dude? He's so annoying.
That's what matters.
This dude has like the largest ego on the planet.
People like me need to be in charge.
Oh my, yep, there it is. There's the fucking Richard Spencer ego. People like me. It's just like, oh.
We determine the course of world history.
And where is Richard Spencer now? Oh wait, no one remembers who you are. Sorry.
Ways that other races can't even dream of doing.
Other races? Huh? What?
And part of your greatness is the exploitation of other people. Part of what's made this country great.
We did it. We took it. We took it with force. We won. We took the entire continent. That's what matters.
There we go.
Outside his apartment, protesters have gathered to hold a vigil for Heather Heyer, the woman who was killed at Charlottesville.
Good to see you. You guys just stare at me in a dead, kind of eyed way. God, these people are pathetic. Like this. Do you know how, like, dumb this is? You think you people
It's
intimidate?
so fucking weird.
Oh my god.
Shouldn't live that long.
Seriously, you guys are dorks.
I go to see another leader who's closely associated with Richard Spencer in the alt-right. Jared Taylor also denies being a racist and says the white race is under threat. I ask him how he thinks multiculturalism could work.
That's like saying, how can we make alcoholism and insanity work? How can we make cholera work? How can we make AIDS work? How can we make
Oh my god, my auto bleep, bro, for TikTok. Probably need to suspend auto bleep. Holy fuck, dude. 103 auto bleeps for my TikTok stream. Jesus Christ. You think they'd be okay with that? Holy mother of God. My God. Confirm. Be out here. Where's the damn auto bleepy thing? Help. Is it live center? I don't know, man. Delete you. I'm gonna add a new one. Oops. TikTok. I have access though. I'm so confused. There's like access but not access. What is happening? Live. Oh man. View profile. Live again. Live studio. I have live studio literally open. I literally not approved or revoked. Wait. Did I figure it out? Uh uh wait, I don't know if that's the let me use the QR code. Yes. Audio is quite low. Well, I wasn't really talking. Is it still low? I was too busy fucking up. I have to speak into the mic, right? I was too busy fucking up. I stream on TikTok too now, and like, I don't think they could make it more annoying. Like, what do you? It says not approved, but like straight up, I don't get it. Apply again. We'll just apply again. Average concurrent viewers of your channel 500 plus. Sometimes 10 plus. That's less. Select platform. Twitch. Shit. TikTok does bring in numbers, bro. It's fucking weird. You literally just hit live. It doesn't matter how shitty your fucking stream is. It's just like people just boom, 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 boom. I'm like, what the fuck? I have no idea what's happening. My TikTok posts too. Also, I don't get it. It's like a cheat code. Here we go. It's literally a cheat code. So. Screenshots that I'm the account holder. I mean, I'm streaming. What do you need screenshots for? What do I do? Just take a fucking. How do I even prove that? Once, what it takes screenshots of that confirm you are the account holder. What, you want my like social security? What the fuck is this TikTok? I'll just take a literal screenshot right now. I'll just do that, I guess. Dude, print screen. Print screen. Paint. Control paste. That didn't work. Why not? What the fuck? It didn't copy? Bro, I'll do it again. I'm almost done, sorry. I know this must be very fun. Print screen. Got it. Thank you for that. It looks good to me. Oh, you have to do it like this way. Okay. There you go. Save this as a PNG real fast. Put it in downloads and call it TikTok Y with all caps. See if they accept it. Yep. TikTok Y. There you go. Boom. Submit. Under review. View. What do you mean? Hurry up. What if I just hit view live access over and over again? You think they'll get the hint? Okay, so while I wait for my review for me to go live on TikTok, I'm going to go live on TikTok because I already can go live on TikTok, but apparently TikTok doesn't realize that I can go live on TikTok. So I'm just going to go live on TikTok. Anyways, look, as I go literally live on TikTok right now, I will be waiting whether or not I am approved to go live on TikTok. So, back to the stream. Like, what the fuck, man? Back to this racist fucking weirdo.
Something that is inherently unstable and will eventually result in my extinction. Why would I even think in terms of making it work when it's...
Why? This guy straight up adopted all of the most racist fucking southern white bullshit. Why would I even think about the black person as being equal? Clearly, have you seen the savages in their own environment? Culture is different. I am white.
It's clear it is not working.
Django Unchained was an annotated biography about me.
For it to work.
A fundamental change in human nature that literally has no basis in biology. Got it. He does throw sauce. He literally is like, have you guys seen Tenacious D? Then you can take Cage back to hell. Wait, what? Trust me, Cage, it's the only way. Fucking, this is the best shit ever, bro. I'm the devil, I love metal. Oh my god, bro. I can actually play this on guitar too.
Dude, we can still use the pick. You use one half, I'll use the other. There's still some juice in there probably, you know what I mean? Where's that thing?
Wait, need to add it to where? This is where he got his fucking Hoi from. Here it is. Then you can take Cage back to hell. Wait, what?
What? Trust me, Cage.
It's the only way.
What are you talking about? To be your little fine. Let the rock off begin. Come on, Cage. Let's fight his music. Our music. There's just no way that we can win. That was a masterpiece. Listen to me. He rocks too hard because he's not a mortal man. God damn it, Cage. He gonna make you his sex slave. You're gonna gargle mayonnaise. Unless we bust a massive monster mammal jam. Deactivated lasers with my dick. Now it's time to blow this fucker down. Come on, Cage, now it's time to blow doors down. Now it's time to blow doors down. Back at the stage, 'cause it's time for a showdown. Then you love it, then we're taking a brown town. Now we got to blow this fucker down. It's gonna rape me if we do not blow down. Come on, Cage, 'cause it's time to blow down.
You guys are fucking lame.
Come on, Cage, you're coming with me.
Anyways, back to the racist white guy.
I'd come to America because I wanted to know the deeper.
I just
more
restringed my
personal
guitar
reason.
like you saw yesterday. I bet if we looked at the tuning for all of my fucking strings I was about to give up because I bet everyone
Why people are drawn to this
super flat.
kind of ideology. At Charlottesville, I filmed alongside many young people who seemed to be embracing the cause, like this young man.
My face is my livelihood. Thank you so much for coming.
Fix that one. Oh, that's flat.
After I met him, footage of him at Charlottesville went viral.
Sharp. Oh my god.
And he was identified publicly by opponents of the far right. His name is Peter Teft. He lives in a working-class district of Fargo, North Dakota, and works as a carpenter. He tells me
Jesus
he's not
did.
a racist and says he's a white civil rights activist. I
Probably
ask him
sounds better
about
now.
his childhood.
Let's find out.
I was largely I felt like a ghost at the school. Like a nerd or a freak or something. I might have had, body dysmorphia. I felt like I was either too big or too fat.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the way people think and act doesn't happen in a vacuum. And I guess maybe there's a part of me that wanted everyone to like me.
Guitar Hero? You guys know that song? Everyone knows that song. Especially if you play Guitar Hero. That was the shit back in the day, bro. Do you know that song, Recluse? God, I always fucking revert to music for some reason. What's wrong with me? Put some reverb. It's from Guitar Hero. Yeah. All right, back to the races.
And did they?
No. Nope. No. Between the age of 23 to 25, you know, I just get really depressed. I saw so much wrong with the world, and...
Like what? Like what bothered you most?
I guess...
You know, I'm going to pause it again right here. I think this is a good point to talk about how the alt-right in particular was able to manifest and like proliferate online better than, let's say, like the alt-left or any left space, okay? And I think mainly, as we've seen in like a bunch of the literature on this, when they study like alt-right terrorists or even just any online terrorists in general or terrorism activity groups, whatever, they like really prey on vulnerable people, right? So it's really hard to profile them. And I do really feel like there's a part earlier in this that I was watching before I turned on my stream, and like I think this is a good example of it, actually. I'll just play this part. The online spaces, okay, they allow you to spread hate in anonymity, right? So you don't actually get that personal, you know, look of like this. You don't get like the body language of someone else. You don't actually aren't connected at all to what you're doing. So this part right here, I think, is a good example of this in action. This woman is like doing a documentary where she goes in this guy's home, and
It didn't stop us.
Disturbing. I find Ken's actions extremely disturbing. But I want to try to get behind the hateful behavior of these men to see if there is more to them. So I spend more time with Ken.
Supplies. Be careful you don't crack that.
He tells me he grew up in a devout Christian community, and I'm the first person of Muslim background he's ever spent time with. He starts to tell me about his life.
This is a scrapbook my mom put together for me, and I guess this is maybe one of the very first pictures of me.
You look so sweet.
Yeah, maybe back then I was. There's me at a violin recital. Graduation picture. I didn't even want to go to my own graduation.
Why?
Because I didn't want to wear a dress.
Is your mom proud of you?
Yeah, she's proud of my military experience and what I'm doing in school. She's not necessarily proud of what I'm doing in the movement.
That we have to move forward.
I decided to share some of my own experiences with him So I show him the interview I gave to the BBC.
Mean to build a society that includes all of us, where it means looking like me and looking like you. Made an example.
And I read him some of the racist emails I got as a result.
Save a life and bin that knife into her chest. This sour cunt should be gassed. Fuck off, bitch. Nazi Germany did it.
When I'm not here and you speak to your friends about me, would you use some of these words about me?
No.
Would you call me a sand nigger?
Maybe if I'm drunk.
Like, what is happening here? Maybe it's a little of this guy's like, oh shit, why does this woman, because she's kind of attractive, why does this woman make my pee-pee hard if I'm a white supremacist? Maybe a little of that. But what I think is really happening here is like, this dude was just lonely and vulnerable. So when he said something else about when his girlfriend Crystal was in the hospital, the only person who called in to check on them was like a guy from a mosque, which
And if I told
very
you that you
telling
calling
for
me
him. It's
those
like
words
foundationally
hurts
breaking. I feel
my
like.
heart.
I'll do my very best.
The fuck, Grand? What the? Yeah. As a case in point, Graham. What do you mean I look old? Don't you know I'm fragile? You're gonna make me fucking start throwing Nazi pamphlets at mosques and shit. What are you doing? You want me to be like?
Best not to use them.
You not know
Yeah.
what this is, Grand?
Yes.
Because
Because I
Spirited away.
respect you and I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Like, what do you mean hurt her feelings, bro? You literally 10 seconds ago did this. Something about the Jews.
Agree with allowing homosexuals to serve in the armed forces. Tonight, he's making hundreds of flyers with swastikas and anti-Jewish slogans.
I've already hit a few Jewish neighborhoods. I've thrown out flyers.
Meanwhile, 2 seconds later, I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Denouncing
If
Syrian
this isn't like a classic example of what it looks like to be somewhat lost as a human being, where this guy could literally be saved. He doesn't. I don't really think he wants to be like this, man. This is a reporter or an investigative journalist girl who's a Muslim girl who like decided to get very close and personal with a bunch of neo-Nazis. Her name is Dia.
refugees coming over here in
Dia
the
Khan.
Muslim neighborhoods at the mosque.
And she looks like this. They're all super uncomfortable around her because she's actually
Nazi.
like, how do I put this? Conventionally, I would say that she's somewhat attractive, right? So all these fucking Nazi dudes was like, what do you, why do I feel like this? I bet you.
Well, I didn't bring any tax. That's the thing. So I just assumed. I guess you guys would have. I mean, you don't have to use it. It's just
So
it's your
she
film,
did like
so
Well, I'm Jeff
a little
Scoop, commander of the
documentary
National Socialist Movement.
where she actually talked to some very prominent people. Like we're talking very prominent people, okay? Like Richard Spencer's in this, who's just an absolute piece of garbage. There's this dude, but this guy right here is just an average guy who turns into a hunk of fucking slop. You know, once she starts telling him about
back then I was. There's me at a violin recital.
this.
Graduation picture. I didn't even want to go to my own graduation
why?
because I didn't want to wear a dress.
Is your mom?
The gown is a dress. You know, like this is how fragile this dude is, right?
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, she's proud of my military experience and what I'm doing in school. She's not necessarily proud of what I'm doing in the movement.
That we have to move forward.
I decided to share some of
she's
my
not
own
really down with
experiences with him.
the Nazi.
So I show him the interview I gave to the BBC.
Mean to build a society that includes all of us, where it means looking like me and looking like you.
Made an example.
And I read him some of the racist emails I got as a result.
Save a life and bin
He
that
breaks
knife into her
right here.
chest.
He breaks.
This sour cunt should be gassed. Fuck off, bitch. Nazi Germany did it. When I'm not here and you speak to your friends about me, would you use some of these words about me?
No.
Would you call me a sand nigger?
Maybe if I'm drunk.
And if I told you that you calling me those words hurts my heart?
I don't want to hurt your heart, girl. Come on. I mean, I like you.
I'll do my very best not to use them.
Yeah?
Yes.
Because?
Full Southern mom. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will mow the lawn right now.
Because I respect you and I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Yes, ma'am.
Why are you nice to me?
You've been completely respectful to me. I actually consider you to be a friend. You know, my opinion about Muslims since I've been interacting with you has gone up significantly. Besides asking me questions that, you know, kind of got under my skin a little bit. Don't do the flyers, blah, blah, blah. Don't throw them out in a Jew neighborhood. Don't use the Jew.
Yeah. It's weird because, again, right after this, he brings up that story about his wife being in the hospital, and the only person who called was like a person from a mosque. And I can tell that this dude is like on the edge of, you know, I don't think he wants to be a Nazi anymore. But listen to what happens next. I'm actually, when it happens, I'll pause it again because I want people's opinions on it, because I think I have a completely different opinion than what should have been done. Okay. Something that I think would radicalize him more happens in like 5 minutes.
Swastika, you're gonna hurt people's feelings. It comes down to when my girlfriend was in the hospital for a month.
Why is Muslim topic? Because he's a white supremacist, bro. He's essentially like operating from fear. And fear means any fucking, you know, identity that is not, you know, from the blood and soil of what he thinks is the most tantamount. Thinks it's poisoning the well. Okay? That's what Muslims, fucking Hindus, it doesn't matter. Like, the most prominent ones are the ones you're going to hear. So Jews and Muslims and Mexicans, right? If you live closer to Mexico. But it's just part of the stick.
And the only one that called to see how she was doing was a woman from the mosque.
Like, that's crazy, bro. And he's just like torn up. He's like, what the why is a Muslim the only person who cares about my wife?
I was like, holy shit, I can't believe that. Here these people that I fucking hate are checking up on her.
And what do you think that is going to change in you?
Actually, no. I don't think I'm gonna mess with the mosque anymore. Trust me, I have thought about getting pigs' heads and scattering them around mosques and
just insane
stuff like that, but I haven't. The worst I've done is bacon. But I'm done messing with those people. You know, if you called me up and say, hey, I need help moving, or hey, I got a flat tire, would you mind helping me out? You know, I would do that. Friendship, it makes people.
Like, this part made me really sad. Okay.
People feel good.
Very sad.
Honestly, I mean,
for all the laughs.
Somebody that you can talk to, have discussions with, even if you don't agree with each other. You know, it's nice to have friends.
Do you think that he's betraying his people and his cause by becoming friends with somebody like me?
No, it's good he's changing his views. His mom will be happy. He's realizing that not everybody's bad. I mean, there is some good people out there that aren't white.
You don't think that other Nazis will watch this and go, what's he doing?
I don't give a shit.
How can he say he's friends with that shit skin?
I don't give a shit if they say that or not.
You can be friends with whoever you want to be with. There's not a problem with that.
I will never break bread with a Jew, though.
Survey says that would be a lie. I guarantee you.
Had to go and say something, didn't you?
Oh, I don't want this to turn into something like, oh, well, this big badass Nazi is this little teddy bear.
You know, when I heard that part in my head, I thought of one thing. Okay. Truthfully, I feel like this is actually a pretty strong thing to do because there are a million Nazis who are willing to fucking say that, but there's not many of them who are willing to do what he's doing right now. So, kind of turning that juxtaposition a little, or juxtaposing it, right? Because truthfully, there are a million Nazis who will pick up a flag and scream blood and soil to look strong, but there aren't many who will put their fucking face on media like this. I feel like he doesn't understand what strength and courage kind of looks like.
But he is.
Yeah, but I would never break bread with a Jew, ever.
So maybe that should be part 2 of this film.
What, send a Jew over here?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so this part, I think this part's really important. I disagree with this completely. And then once it's done, I don't know, whoever's in the chat, I'm going to ask your opinion, okay?
A couple of months after I left Ken, I got an
A little bit of preface. This guy, Ken, he is studying political science at university right now, a local, I think, North Florida college, doesn't matter. And he's really excited about it in the beginning, okay? So just keep that in mind.
email from Crystal. She said Ken had posted this picture of himself onto his student Facebook page. Ethnic minority students had seen it as a threat, and he'd been banned from the campus of the University of North Florida.
Okay, so thoughts? Anyone who's watching right now? Do you think that was a good idea or a bad idea? What are we thinking about that? Sure, but the university decided to just ban him immediately. Right? That's what happened. I just want to know some people's thoughts before I give my own on this. Grand, do you have thoughts on that? I feel like you have thoughts on that. Yeah, on him getting so the first thing, the only thing they did was just literally they banned him from the campus. He can't get his degree anymore. From that photo, this one. Where he looks swole as fuck, bro. Like my act? Anyways. Do we think that was the right thing to do, or? Grand, I didn't ask what thoughts you need to have. I asked, what are your thoughts? What in the fucking holy comment is that? What? There's no obligation to like figure out what I want you to think, bro. I'm just asking you your own opinion. What am I supposed to feel? Jerica. Just in like one sentence, Grant, and then I'll give you my own. No. So this guy was studying political science. Sorry, I didn't know you were gone. This guy, Ken, in the photo, studying political science. And he was really excited about it earlier in the video. The school found out about this post because some minority students reported it. The school immediately banned him from campus, and now he can't pursue his degree anymore. What do we think about that? It is complicated. I mean, obviously, it would depend on. I think the school did something wrong by just not even talking to him. Okay, so the man in the photo right now, Ken, okay, he's a Nazi, and to me, from this interview, it seems like he's doesn't want to be one anymore. Okay, but the school doesn't know that. It doesn't matter. But he's studying political science. and he's very excited about it. Some students at the school where he studies political science found out about this photo that he posted. They reported it, and the school banned him from campus. Just instantly. They didn't do anything else. So, with that knowledge, Grant, do you think the school did the correct thing? Do we think this is a good thing? Do we think what are our thoughts on this, Graham? I just want to hear yours before I go forward. And try to keep it like at least one sentence, Grant, not like 25,000. A whole essay. I'm not sure if a trial's I don't know. I think he's like probably early 30s. But I don't know about trial, but what I do know is that if let me ask this question. What do we think would make this dude way more radical with the least amount of effort right now? Like, if we wanted to turn this guy further towards whatever the fuck we just watched, what do you think would be the easiest way? I didn't really show you the beginning, but he was really excited about that degree. To try and get his degree. Like, I can't think of a fucking more like retarded thing to do off of a single photo to make this guy literally go shoot a school up. I know he's showing a Nazi tattoo with a gun in it. It's very intense. It's threatening, right? But I feel like if we want to help people and stop people from like this from going further into maybe committing the New Zealand type shooting, administrators of schools and schools should not do that. Like, they should have at least talked to him and like tried to understand, like, hey, do you understand why this is a little bit, and not come at him from the whole, you're a Nazi point of view, because obviously Nazis don't respond well to that. This fucking reporter girl did fine. You tell me the school with administrators and counselors couldn't like talk to this dude in some fashion similar to what this fucking girl with the camera just did? There's no fucking way, bro. So I personally just don't like this at all. I think we don't have any more information about him, but I bet this dude got way more radicalized instantly. And the whole idea of like trying to stop this guy from like shooting a school up is now just probably like way higher risk. And he may, as we can tell by the video, the school doesn't know it, but it seems to me like he was on the cusp of not being a Nazi anymore. He didn't want to fucking be that anymore. Because most of this type of online behavior, the Nazi groups, they're very like, they prey on vulnerable people, as we can see. And then once you get in, you get extorted. Especially if you're in like a chapter or a real movement. So like, I just think a complete failure on behalf of the administration of the school to just ban the guy with no discussion, or at least try to understand if they could, help this guy. Because I think it would produce a worse outcome for everyone involved. Like, he was earlier in the video very excited about this degree. I completely disagree with it personally. I mean, he is holding a gun, and there's lots of people who hold guns. I personally think, obviously, there is like a threatening message in this fucking photo here. But people post stuff online all the time to try to make themselves look cooler. This guy is super vulnerable, I can already tell. So I just feel like it was a big mistake to fucking like outcast the guy without talking to him over a fucking photo like
That
this.
Ken had posted this picture of himself onto his student Facebook page. Ethnic minority students had seen it as a threat, and he'd been banned from the campus of the University of North Florida.
Like, that is just ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, it's not like schools don't have enough fucking money to figure that out too, right? I mean, they're not supposed to be guidance counseling sessions, but again, this guy, if he didn't have the Nazi tattoo, would he have been removed? No one would have cared. They would have glossed over this photo and been like, okay, maybe hit the gym before you fucking throw a shirtless pic out there, dude. What are you doing? Like, that would have been number one. Like, dude, your biceps and your farmer's tan aren't doing you favors right now. Like, that stupid M16 gun barrel is somehow bigger than your biceps. That's a problem, right? Like, and he may like, the truth is that he may have gotten them when he was really young, and maybe he's not trying to shoot up a school anymore. I have no idea, but just banning him without discussion is probably how you're going to make that happen more likely. Okay. Sure. But, you know, it seems to me like they didn't even try. It said school student Facebook page. Now, I think student Facebook page is not really giving us enough information to know what he posted this to. I'm going to be honest. Like, I felt, honestly thought that as well, but I don't think we have enough information to go on for that. Maybe it could have been his literal Facebook page and it's just connected to the school. I don't think we got enough information to know whether or not he like posted it to Northridge Facebook page. Also, I'm not even sure you can do that for Facebook pages on. I'm pretty sure you have to be a part of the community first, and then they have to get approved at things like that. So North Florida Facebook page, I don't know. This one, I feel like that would be 100% something they should do anyway. Yeah, no one can just. Yeah, like no one can just post on this page. So mentions maybe he mentioned it, but that's not the same thing. Come on, like we're so this again. We have to. I'm trying to come from the mindset of like I want to help this guy. I really do, and it's probably because I watched this video. But I think a school should not have just banned him right away. And I know that students could have reacted and done like a protest, but I don't think they would have done a protest if the school said, well, we'll talk to him and tried to understand him first. Because at least from the information we have so far, it just seems like the school went, you're banned. Nope, see ya. And I don't think the students would have known whether or not they tried to like communicate to him or see, you know, if he needs help or. And I'm not saying schools are good at it either, but I disagree with just banning him right away for that photo. I feel like it would cause more issues and further push this guy to be more radicalized and a Nazi. I just feel like it would have the inverse outcome that you want.
Onto his student Facebook page. Ethnic minority students had seen it.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they exist. It's just, I mean, people think I'm extremely progressive, and in a lot of ways, I guess I am, depending on like who you talk to. But yeah, they can be really fucking annoying. That sounds par on the core for him, yeah. I mean, knowing what we know. Wait, Haley, did you just come in or did you listen to this guy talk a little earlier? Were you watching his like little moment earlier where he was just, I only like you. Okay, so this part happens right before this, okay?
But I want to try to get behind the hateful behavior of these men to see if there is more to them.
Like, there's no way the school knows this, by the way, Haley. And you're right. Like, they need to take this shit seriously. But I think if you just treat everyone as if they're like some psychotic New Zealand shooter, then you miss out on actually helping the people like this guy, who you may not know, and you might push them to be further radicalized.
I spend more time with Ken.
I think this part shows a lot.
Be careful you don't crack that.
He tells me he grew up in a devout Christian community, and I'm the first person of Muslim background he's ever spent time with. He starts to tell me about his life.
This is a scrapbook my mom put together for me, and I guess this is maybe one of the very first pictures of me.
You look so sweet.
Yeah, maybe back then I was. There's me at a violin recital. Graduation picture. I didn't even want to go to my own graduation.
Why?
Because I didn't want to wear a dress.
Is your mom proud of you?
Yeah, she's proud of my military experience and what I'm doing in school. She's not necessarily proud of what I'm doing in the movement.
That we have to move forward.
I decided to share some of my own experiences with him So I show him the interview I gave to the BBC.
Mean to build a society that includes all of us, where it means looking like me and looking like you.
Made an example.
And I read him some of the race.
I didn't want my guitar to play through. Sorry. I understand what you're saying. I also understand like a school probably should be able to ban people if need be, but the photo in and of itself, I feel like, is not really telling you whether or not the dude is actually going to shoot up the school, even though it seems like it is. And the United States is just particularly weird when it comes to, you know, the neo-Nazi type movement and the alt-right movements we have here. They're very God damn it, Grant. Why do you always have like a 10-second delay? What I dislike about this situation is that I feel like the school should know, or at least have an idea of why these people are radicalized in the first place. And a lot of them are really just vulnerable and lonely. And I just cannot understand how a school can't see the consequences of simply just removing the guy from campus in this circumstance, and how it wouldn't probably lead to a higher risk of him doing the violence they're trying to avoid. Like, maybe if you can find more information on me, because I didn't look it up, obviously, right? All the information I have right now is that the school just said goodbye. And I feel like that is not how it should be handled. But maybe they did try. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Latest emails I got as a result.
Save a life and bend that knife into her chest.
Because how he acts here, I think, shows that he doesn't want to stay like this, right? Like these radical alt-right movements, they extort you afterwards and they keep you like an MLM. Like they keep you on a drip. Like you're addicted, you know, like physically and mentally dependent. So when someone like this is trying to get out, we really need to find every pathway possible to try and keep them on that path and not like further radicalize them afterwards.
The sour
In the US,
should be gassed. Fuck off, bitch. Nazi Germany did it. When I'm not here and you speak to your friends about me, would you use some of these words about me?
No.
Would you call me a sand nigger?
Maybe if I'm drunk.
And if I told you that you calling me those
Like
words
he is acting horrible, right? Like that's not a
hurts my heart.
I'll do my very best not to use them.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah?
Yes.
Because?
Because I respect you and I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Why are you nice to me?
You've been completely respectful to me. I actually consider you to be a friend. You know, my opinion about Muslims since I've been interacting with you has gone up significantly.
Yeah, but this guy hasn't even committed a crime yet, right? That's kind of the... See, the thing is, like, rehabilitation versus punishment here, like... I mean, I call myself a little bit of a classical liberal, in a way. Sometimes, because I kind of feel like the social liberals have, you know, promoted equality and that freedom and equality thing kind of too much. The classical liberals had like a hard stop of limiting freedom at thoughts. So like classical liberals like John Stuart Mill, John Locke, Adam Smith, kind of. I mean, John Stuart Mill mostly. They didn't like to limit people based on their thought because they thought it was too subjective, right? So a lot of this country's foundational ideas kind of are dependent on that. And like, this is why when I'm talking about like, you know, Trump arresting that graduate student from Columbia, where they're like, well, he was a Hamas sympathizer. In my head, like straight up, that is okay. We should not arrest people for being sympathizers, even to terrorist groups. We let Nazis exist in this country, right? Okay. Well, that would change it a bit, right? Okay. So yeah, thank you for finding more information. I would okay, so knowing that though, I'm glad that we know now that the school did not do that. So they also would have disagreed if you went forward with the information that I thought was how old is this video though? I think this is actually pretty old, right? I wish she tried to show that a little bit more, but from 2017. So the school, if
Besides asking me,
we were hypothetically having this conversation with the same information, the school did actually seem like they did the same thing as what I thought should happen, right? So that's good to know. I just had a hard time in my head when I was watching this too. I had a hard time thinking the school would do it that way because, again, if their goal here is to not have this guy shoot up the school and become further radicalized, I probably want to talk to him. The problem, again, too, with people who are radicalized like this, who act like this, is they tend to double down too, right? When they're pushed socially, especially online or like in person, they like, it's really hard for someone to project their entire identity in the heat of a moment or like in the heat of intuitive emotions that are coming out of you, right? So, but actions have consequences. That is not something I am against. I think accountability is something everyone must learn, whether it's the hard way or whether it's you figuring it out before it's the hard way.
questions that, kind of got under my skin a little bit. Don't do the flyers, blah, blah, blah. Don't throw them out in a Jew neighborhood. Don't use the Jew flyers with the swastika. You're going to hurt people's feelings.
Exactly, yeah, 100%. Like, in person, if I was talking to this guy, I would be probably very mean to him. Like, I don't know. I'd just be like, oh, okay. Got it. Interesting, man. You telling me you wouldn't wear a gown to your graduation? Why are you so insecure? Like, just straight cut through the butter. You're like, what the fuck are you so insecure for? Like, how the fuck is that? But, in like a systemic setting, I'm kind of... Yeah. I just want to be like, dude, literally... How did you even come up with this thought? It's like a brand new thought. I also fixed my guitar's intonation finally. Oh my god, it sounds so much better. Oh. Oh my god, it's out of tune again. No! Alright, what should I watch today? Anyone have any recommendations? I know, Grand, you have like a 35-hour essay that you want me, maybe. Please don't do that. Can you give me like a 35-minute essay, Grand? One that doesn't have anything to do with that stupid book that you gave me yesterday. Yeah. Not a book? Bro, dude's like, it's a pamphlet. I was like, what the fuck? Oh my god. Yeah, that's what they called all of them back then, bro. Shut the... Tell me Reflections on France is not a book? Book by Edmund Burke. Ah, fuck. What about on Amazon? How many pages is this pamphlet, dude? Isn't it like fucking 100? 400 pages. Not a book. Got it. He was actually pretty smart too, man. I'm not gonna lie. I actually like that guy. I hope he comes back. I had fun talking to him, at least. Hopefully he doesn't take it like too personal. He comes back, because I do think he had quite a bit of knowledge. Because I went back and looked up a little bit, because I felt like I didn't correctly say some things, especially about classical liberalism. I did mention John Stuart Mill, but John Stuart Mill is the origin of classical liberalism. And then he was kind of correct when it came to Edmund Burke being the origin of a certain part or a certain type of conservatism. I was just really confused why he thinks that is the start of conservatism. That part I didn't understand. I feel like the thoughts from John Stuart Mill and John Locke being, the rights of private property and those natural rights stemming from Thomas Hobbes are the fundamental basis for conservatism. But
feelings, it comes down to when my girlfriend was in the hospital for a month, and the only one that called to see how she was doing.
The French Revolution thing. Like him saying Edmund Burke was right about it not working. It's just like, it's a revolution, man. He was wrong about everything regarding the revolution, but he was right that it didn't end up that well. But that has nothing, it's not a good take. It's a 50-50 in a way. And even then, his whole entire take was just, they're peasants, so they don't know how to do it. That's like, I don't know why he didn't want to say that or agree with the fact that Edmund Burke was an aristocrat. And he liked the American Revolution because peasants weren't the ones doing the revolution. So he was like, they're cultured and they know because they're not the meek. But in the French Revolution, it was the peasants who like overturned, artisans and the king, right? So Edmund Burke had like a distaste for them from the beginning. It's in all of his writing. And I don't know why he didn't want to engage with that. It's really fucking annoying when you read Edmund Burke's writing for that reason. And then when he said, what is the central idea from Reflections, and then told me that it's not a quote, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? The central idea is that he didn't like the French Revolution again because it was peasants.
Was a woman from the
they don't
mosque.
they do not
shit,
have to know what they're doing with
these
fucking
people that I fucking hate are checking up on her.
And what do you think that is going to change in you?
Is there like a video of Pete Hegseth like, having another sexual assault allegation or what? What's happening? I'm not watching that. Nope. No, thank you. I'm good. Oh.
Will you listen?
This guy does
Just
awesome.
as my form starts to fission, losing this war of attrition. Just as I drift away, will you hold this eclipse in me? 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 With the shadows longer to me than a light, moving so slow I could die. Say you could let me say, will you hold this eclipse in me? Will you hold this eclipse in me? Will you hold this eclipse in me? Will you hold this eclipse in me?
This song's awesome. Where is Grand with my link? I said, I like to get very philosophical. Give me a link to watch. So I stop fucking playing music. No, we need right now? We need to fucking Gojira too. This fucking tone is retarded. Oh man, I'm glad none of you guys heard that in the background. All right, let's see here. What is this book? Perpetrator Disgust. This is $100 book. Holy! Can't hide from me though. I like this drummer. He's fucking sick. I need to join a band, guys, because I noticed, or I remember in my life, I was a way better guitarist when I was younger. It was probably because I was in a fucking deathcore band. Whenever you're in a band, like a committed band, you tend to like just take everything you do to another level, I feel like. I kind of miss that. What are these in the cart? Wow. You buying me a present? These will look great on me. I honestly feel like the emotion disgust has an endless amount of literature on it. It seems like a very difficult let's see. Oh my god, it's not on LibGen? Oh yeah, it is. Dietra Marie. Meta philosophy. Isn't that just metaphysics? Or is it like meta philosophy? What is meta philosophy? Meta. Dude, can you just download the link? Hello, thank you. Oh, Reclusi. I have a metaphysics. Fucking redundancy called. It just reminds me of like metal genres, you know? And someone's like, "No, bro, that's fucking metalcore." And someone goes, "No, it's like deep post-hardcore metal." Someone's like, "No, this is grindcore." And someone just goes, "Can you all just shut the fuck up?" Like you go to any fucking metal music video, go to the comments and like an old like that song I played earlier, All That Remains. I swear to God, if I look for I just look for metalcore or something like that in the comments, please, for the love of God. Dude, someone's gonna be like, "This isn't metalcore." Yeah, Asking Alexandria is like not pop punk, you know. Dude, I don't think In Flames are metalcore. I think they're more melodic death. Dude, I fucking called it. You see that? You probably can't see it. Let me zoom in. We can make this shit HD, bro. Oh my god. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, hardcore scene actually, 90s, 2000s metallic hardcore. That's what whenever I like and talking about definitions, and we have like a base one, you know, like metal, metaphysics. And if someone really wants to, I don't really know, man. I feel like it's meta. All I can think of is this stupid shit. Yeah, I mean, mathcore mainstream bands like Shadowfall. The entire time you're just going, yeah, we're talking about the same band. I get it. Yeah. No, actually, metal is not just edgy country music. What are you talking about? It's all just bluegrass, okay? Bluegrass is the better word there. Blues and folk, okay? And then country music and metal are rap. Rap has not just taken over metal and country, but it's taken over everything because of the simplicity of how rap beats work. No, let me play you a fucking basic country song right now, okay? We'll do like Jason Aldean, okay? Fucking Jason Aldean shit. Right? I will show you why it's all just copied rap now. Or like maybe Pantera, you know? 90s metal may have been kind of where this originates a bit. Or like old African tribal music, that might be it too. Has something very simple to it. Okay? Do some fucking Jason Aldean right now, okay? This fucking cowboy looking weirdo. Try that in a small town. We'll do Burning It Down, okay? So, in my opinion, a lot of what music tries to revolve around nowadays is essentially the relationship between your rhythmic bass and your snare. So like, I'm going to play two songs right now. We'll play a song by Harper, which I think does this very well. We'll do this song. So it's all about where the snare is, how it's like making you snap. Right? Very much simple, right? But it gets the body going because it all revolves around that snare. So, I'll go to Jason Aldean really fast, okay? Most of the moving parts are going to be based around when the snare comes in, okay? They all copy this. Metal's no different. This time it's a clap, obviously. Everything in it is going to be revolving around that. I can play whatever I want on guitar. Watch. As long as I stay in rhythm with that snare. Clap. I wouldn't say that. I would not say that, okay? Because if I showed you like thrash right now, all right, like Sepultura or something, all right, I don't think that's what you would hear. We definitely have less of a revolving around that snap, right? Oh, my live was discontinued. Dude, TikTok's... But I have 77 likes, TikTok. How could you do this to me? Alright, I'm live again on TikTok. Now, let me show you some modern metal, okay? This band called Throne. This band called Throne. You will, I swear to God, you will immediately go, oh, these guys are literally just, they have figured metal out with rap. I swear to God. Let's do Dwell. Actually, this song. It is straight up the most intense fucking snare. Slipknot definitely goes that way too. Yeah, new metal. Things like Korn and Slipknot, but I feel like it's kind of entered most music this way. Like it's very very much rap and the ability to like move with that, especially since bass now is much easier to make. Like you can make really nice bass noises with little effort, right? Back in the day that wasn't really easy to do. Like to make 808s was pretty fucking hard. If I go to my piano right now, right? My piano sounds good, right? But I'm using like just a VST, right? But back in the day when you needed to make bass noises, it took a lot of work. Nowadays, not so much. And bass and that little snare pattern you can have is pretty much how most music is going to be nowadays. So country is definitely fucking steals that. If I go to a really popular artist right now, maybe like Morgan Wallen. Let's do him. He definitely takes a lot of influence from it.
Last night we let the liquor talk. I can't remember everything we said, but we said it all. You told me that you wish for somebody you never met, but baby, something's telling me this ain't over yet. No way it was our last night. I kissed your lips, make you grip the sheets with your fingertips. Last bottle of Jack, we split a fifth. Talking about life, going sip for sip. Yeah, you know you love to fight, and I say shit I don't mean, but I'm still gonna wake up on you and me. I know that last night we let the liquor talk. I can't remember everything we said, but we said it all. You told me that you wish I was somebody you never met, but baby, something's telling me this ain't over yet. No way it was our last night.
Yeah, the twang is. I know exactly what you're talking about. They straight up, okay, like whatever guitar tone I'm doing right now, I'll just do Bold Warm again. You know, this fucking tone. Right, we'll just do this basic tone. They straight up will just be like, how can I make this more country? It's just like, can you not do that? You know, the mid, super high, treble, super high, a little bit of bass, and then you're just like, yeah, roll with it. Like, no, stop. Like, I feel like there's much better ways to make that sound. Okay? And it usually takes the form of this for me, because I think the dirtiest, most disgusting noises ever sound really cool. So like, we should just make a new Morgan Wallen song. I should just do a cover of this song with this in the background. How's the song go again? There we go. Last night in super fucking mode. All right. How come I can't find your book, by the way? What is this? Let's see here. Library Genesis. Did I get it? I did get it. All right, what do we got here? The mind? You mean consciousness? Or do you mean like... I think you mean consciousness, right? Like, what is my opinion of it? Or do you mean like more of like a psychology thing, like theory of mind and the personal, like the what is the mind, Circa? I'm stupid. Talk to me like I'm stupid. Help me out here. I don't know many words, so you have to keep it simple. Aren't those two connected in this conversation? I know, like, you know, cognitive psychology as it relates to the mind, and then there's like philosophical things, and then there's like neuroscience, right? And neuro biology fucking arguments. Like consciousness arguments or topics to me are a little, I'm actually pretty ignorant on most of them. But am I close on one of those? Yeah, you're fine. I'm just curious what you mean by mind, because many different fields have a have an opinion on what that means, right? That's kind of what I was getting at. So, is there a specific field that you are curious about? But yeah, consciousness topics, I am pretty fucking shitty on, I would say. I try not to have too many opinions on that one, because I don't like having opinions on things I don't know most of the time. Except every day that goes by, I'm feeling like that's not true as much, because Haley over here proves me wrong on like at least 2 times a stream now, so it is. Yeah, when I play, I think it's because it is attached to yeah, the guitar's coming through it. Motherfucking thought I fixed you. Oh. Wait. Oh my god. Hello. I think I fixed it. Let's go. Okay. All right. There we go. Bruh. Yeah, it's so annoying because I have like I updated my driver recently and it used to look like this. I wonder if I can even bring this up. Heck yeah, I can. So you see this little stupid fucking thing here? Cover my face with it. When I updated my drivers for my Scarlett, it like introduced these new streaming settings here. And it pretty much like defaulted the in to 6 channels, and like now I had to make sure that in my sound settings that for the recording spot in advance that it was set to 6 channels, and I was like, okay, like it was really annoying. It's like bleeding through is why. Yeah, it's still bleeding through. Okay, we're good. We are good. Let's go. I had to change the 4-channel output. Perfect. We're good. In terms of metaphysics of mind, and that doesn't answer much, I guess I want to ask you what the relation is between mind and body. Oh, is the mind a soul? I would say no to that one. But I think if I would only say no to that if we're talking about the colloquial understanding of what soul means, in particular, like a religious sense. Is the mind identical to the brain? I don't think so, because the brain can be damaged in many different ways and the mind can stay perfectly intact, or you could barely damage the brain and the mind could be fucking absolutely vegetabled. So I don't think they're really that connected like that. Is it something else? Probably. That is what I was asking. There's the idea of pan copy or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about? Panpsychism, I think. Is that what I'm talking about? Yeah, panpsychism. This one seems to me, I think I heard Alex O'Connor say this, who I feel like knows a lot more than me about this. I've like heard a lot of people talk about consciousness, but I really haven't dived into it myself. I don't really know what I feel about it though. So keep that in mind. When I say the idea of panpsychism is interesting, I'm not gonna like put my stick in the sand and be like, this is the fucking answer, right? I don't think there's not enough information for me to do that. No, there's not. Where did you get that from? Did you get that from Ian McGilchrist? I'll lobotomize you, Globalize. Very interested in that. Please do. I love lobotomy. I think most of the idea that the brain has like a certain function comes from what, this guy, Ian McGilchrist or whatever. Hey, is that me? Why am I on there? Oh wait. I need to see myself. You wanna play? Yeah? Hello? Oscar wants to play Borderlands? From this guy, right? Oh god. The frontal lobe, globalized, does seem to have a connection to those things, yeah. But what would immediately make what you just said kind of not objective, or like what you're asserting it as like a law or a theory right now, but there have been cases where people, don't have any damage to the frontal lobe, but have extreme problems with executive functions. There have been problems where people have been damaged in the frontal lobe and they're perfectly fine. So, do you need all of your frontal lobe, or do you need like part of it? Or there have been cases where the frontal lobe has been damaged and yet it's like you're a vegetable now. So, this is the problem that you run into. We definitely can see areas of the brain essentially like give off energy depending on how and what functions your brain is trying to do at that time. But the problem is just immediately going past that and saying that the frontal lobe is literally only responsible for those things. Okay, so except, all right, the lungs are very easily identifiable as how you breathe. Like they're the most, that's how air, the oxygen gets to your blood cells, right? Through the process in your lungs. That's not really how it works in the brain. We don't have a way to look at it like that. In the brain, it's just heat. So what you're talking about when you said parietal lobe, right? Processes sensory information. It doesn't actually show us the process. It just shows us the heat of where it looks like it's happening. Those are two fundamentally different things. And then second, another way I can explain this is think of treating someone with depression, okay, globalized. So when you talk about depression, generally you're thinking of probably serotonin, right? Correct? You can agree to that? I don't know why I spelled that wrong. Here, I'll just put, there's going to be three. You're going to have serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine, right? Those three things have a big effect on clinical depression. We mainly try to treat depression with serotonin drugs, SSRIs, but even though the type of depression we think of when we think of clinical depression, or the type of chemical we think of with clinical depression, is mainly a lack in serotonin, it would be foolish and a little irresponsible to be like, all you need to fix it is because serotonin is low. It actually is not that simple. It never will be. Exactly. But again, if your frontal lobe is damaged slightly, let's just say there's damage, visible damage, but you have no, there's no negative effects from it, then how would you square that? How much of your frontal lobe do you need to retain? You see what I'm saying? It's just not that simple. So again, when we look at how, like the things you cited, sensory information, the only way we know, okay, is by looking at heat that gets essentially produced in that area of the brain. But there is no, you know, identifiable like objective amount of heat that should be released, or you know, confidence in the fact that it needs to be in like one area only. We just see like a pattern for the most part. The liver performs a task, okay, that we can objectively see in like a biological process. I don't know why you keep using body parts that we can see what it does. The liver, okay, is like something that filters. Actually, I don't know why I can't fucking remember what the liver really does, but I mean the kidney does blood filtration. I think the liver does a different filtrative aspect. Why can't I remember what the fucking liver does? The point is that we can see what the liver does. It's a metabolic thing, right? Is a major metabolic organ exclusively found in vertebrates which perform essential biological functions such as detoxification. Okay, so yeah, filtration for digestion and growth. Okay. So we can see that in action. But there is no process that's like materially visible when we look at the brain globalized. Okay, but what is the exact process happening there, globalized? To just make sure you understand that the liver analogy doesn't work. In the liver analogy, we can break it down to the exact material biological process. Okay? We can look at exactly how the brain cannot heal itself. No. That is not true. Like, physically, the brain cannot heal itself. The liver actually can, if I'm not mistaken. Neuroplasticity is not physically the brain healing itself. Neuroplasticity is different. That is nothing to do with like the brain actually repairing itself, like physically. There's a difference. The liver can actually, if I'm not mistaken, grow back certain parts. So regeneration, right, is different, and he just got to it before I did. So Reclusi here is kind of already beating me to it, but the liver can literally regenerate its cells. The brain cannot do that. Neuroplasticity is 100% reliant on something that is not material or physical. Okay, well, again, we don't know how it does that. We don't know why. It just does. So when you in that definition, the brain can learn new pathways. We don't know how it does that. It just does. For the liver, it's identifiable. We know exactly how it does that. And once again, if we were going to assume that each portion of the brain had like an actual objective control over these things, then how come some people cannot rewire as well as others? Yeah, and we don't know how it does that though. Can you tell me how, or like why it does that? As in, do we know the process and how it does that? Okay, that's not giving us a lot of information on it. I mean, kind of, not really. I think any addiction can do that, but coke specifically is not very um impactful on the brain. You're thinking of a different drug. I again, I'm not really that familiar with brain stuff, globalized, but the reason I keep asking you this is because I know the answer to this. At least I don't know the depth of neuroscience, but I do know that we don't know why each function of the brain, sometimes emits heat the way it does. And my personal opinion is that every part of the brain is in and of itself just as important as the other parts. And it's pretty it's not really like defined by this easy little, well, here's the frontal lobe box, and then if that gets damaged, then you fucking don't know how to control your impulses and you'll rape women. It's just not that easy. No. What would help you with damage to the brain from strokes, Bogos, is going to be directly related to whatever amount of blood was denied to your brain and however the damage itself decides to present itself. Here, why don't we do a little research on that? Women recovery from stroke. And we'll do Google Scholar, okay? I'm assuming this probably has something to do with blood flow and just the fact that they have less of a chance to have strokes. That's my first guess. Okay? Maybe it's the opposite, actually. No, men are at higher risk of stroke for most age groups below 85. So yeah, men have a higher risk of stroke. Again, globalized. Whenever you damage a certain part of the brain, are you going to get the same outcome every time, no matter what? We have human examples of this, evidence of this. There's like a famous guy who got like a railroad spike directly through his fucking cranium, and he lived a normal life. It completely got rid of a bunch of his brain. So that's what I think you're not understanding. It's not that simple. It looks like women have a higher chance of having disability. Wait, Bogos, didn't you say that women recover better? This says 3 to 6 months they have a higher chance of disability. Okay, so if your leg gets cut off, globalized. Okay, if your leg gets like amputated or, unfortunately separated from your body, is that the same as what we're talking about right now? Do you think that's analogous? That simply means that you didn't lose all the blood and you were able to not bleed out in time. It's very easy to understand why someone could live in that case and why they are still alive. But in the case of Phineas Cage or something, I mean, he should be fucking brain dead. So why is he not brain dead? There's no significant difference between them. It looks like disability is greater for women, Bogos, because older women generally have strokes. That's basically why. It looks like women become more disabled in various functional activities during the acute phase at 3 to 6 months. There's big differences between them. And it looks like women actually when controlling for pre-stroke functional ability, 2 studies found no sex difference in achievement of independence and attributed differences to older age and lower pre-stroke physical function. So, Bogos, no, women are not. What you said is wrong. Looks like women are more likely to be disabled, but this is mainly due to the factor that they're generally older age. Has nothing to do with the fact that they're women. What is vital in that scenario, Globalized? How do you know what is vital and what is not vital there? It says that they're worse at it, Bogos, but this is because they're just usually older age. So it looks like 3 to 6 months afterwards, they have a harder time doing any functional activities. 3 to 6 months post-stroke. Now, Globalize here. If we take another person, okay, and we have Phineas Cage again, but this time we barely damage the brain instead of putting an entire railroad spike through him, that person becomes a vegetable. And we can very clearly see that it hit the same spot. What do you say to that? What's the argument there? Chickens do not live without their head, man. Chickens continue to move after their head is cut off because the other part, like the body that was separated, is still technically alive, and it's just spazzing, like its neurons are just spazzing, like its muscles and everything. So it's not that it's. I don't know what you mean by it can live without its head. Also, we are talking about humans here. So let's keep it within human biology here, at least something similar. Mammals, at least. Yeah. That might be pretty smart. Can a chicken stay alive for 18 months without its head? Is that real? Was it frozen forever? And then when it was not frozen or unfrozen, did it start twitching? Was it frozen? Globalized? Its brainstem remained intact. Okay. So that means that something, it was still able to breathe. So it was not, it didn't have its entire brain removed, Globalized. It seems like it had what was necessary to live. Like stay alive as a, I don't know, an organism. Haley is very good at coming in with the facts, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. I very much appreciate it. Globalize is shaking right now. He's like, fucking Haley. Fucking. I know he wasn't gonna look it up. Fuck. I mean, head there is semantic than globalize. What you mean to say is that it fucking Borderlands. You didn't lie. What you said is not exactly similar. Because I think the implication of what you said when the chicken had its head removed is that its entire head, including things like the brainstem, which I guess allowed it to breathe, would be off the chicken, right? Also, who would keep their chicken alive in that scenario for that long? What the fuck? That is gnarly. I mean, globalize is I don't really know. It did not have a chicken head with beak. Yes, that's what it sounds like. Yeah. I get that. Is Haley wrong though, or like, what are you trying to say with that? Phineas Cage. Okay, globalized. So here's the thing. Okay, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page here. I'm not the one saying that parts of the brain are like objectively needed and have explicitly defined functions. You are. So keep that in mind. So when I bring up Phineas Cage, parts of his brain were uninjured. A very large portion of his brain was injured. Now, we have cases where people have their brain less injured and in the same places. So we're talking Phineas Cage, same injury, okay? What is the scientific consensus? There are a few, again, Ian McGilchrist and a few other biological scientists who have been trying to say that there's like left brain, right brain, and that, you know, specific portions of the brain are like completely, explicitly defined in their functions. Most neurologists, if I'm not mistaken, do agree that parts of your brain seem to produce different functions. Like, not many neurologists are going to be like, the frontal lobe is going to be more necessary for long-term memory, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think that's going to point to somewhere else, right? But it is inaccurate, though, to say that the frontal lobe has no connection at all right now. Does that make sense? So when we talk about like functions in the body, like your liver or your kidneys or localization is not the same as explicit defined function. There is no fucking biologist on planet Earth who will tell you that the liver can do what the lungs do or has any real connection to that outside of like, yeah, sorry. I wasn't really looking at my thing. Thank you. Where the fuck did I put it? There it is. There it is. There's no biologist who will tell you that, right? Correct. Yeah. I think I just mentioned that most neurologists would say that certain areas of the brain seem to give specific functions, okay? Like you mentioned the frontal lobe. Executive functions, short-term memory, irritability, spontaneous control over emotions. It's usually tied to executive functions, right? But the problem I think we're having right now is that no neurologist will literally say the frontal lobe is completely disconnected functionally from long-term memory. Right? That would be something they cannot prove because there is no like, oh, well, the liver, through a biological function of a metabolic process, does this. We can see the brain. The way we know what you're talking about is just the brain lights up when we ask it questions or when it's induced under certain types of stresses. Which one of those is more explicitly defined? It is very hard to test it ethically. And even then, it doesn't really give us, there's no like process of neuron, consciousness with neurons. There's no like, oh, look, here's a metabolite that like does the job, changes the chemical. Now that chemical goes somewhere else. There is none of that in the brain. It's just, it's doing some firing. Like that's it. So we're talking about two different explicitly defined things. So you like think about it, Globalize. If what you said is explicitly defined that easily, then we would know how consciousness works, wouldn't we? Oh my God. Over here. Be a little smaller. And we've destroyed parts of animals' brains and they did not lose function in the same, if we destroyed the same parts. What would you say to that? But even then, even if we shared the same neurology, like a mammal, right? We have evidence to show that if we destroyed those very same parts in a separate animal, then sometimes they don't lose function, Globalized. What would you say to that? It's not that the theory's wrong, because the theory just shows heat. Again, the brain is really weird. Like you said, can't different parts of the brain compensate with neuroplasticity? Doesn't that mean the theory is not wrong then? It's just not as explicitly defined? That's the whole point. I'm trying to get at. No, our organs are not very similar in that way. Our organs, again, have fucking identifiable material functions. When the lungs, okay, transfer oxygen into your blood, we can see exactly what happened. There is none of that, again, when you look at brains. None of that. Nothing like